Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. Today, we're going to be talking with Daria Bunting about the area of Fairfield West, which is literally just east of downtown Victoria. It's one of the most coveted areas because it's the home of Cook Street Village. And then we're going to be talking to her about her business, which is IDare-YaDesigns. So she is an interior designer. She's also a stager, and then she does some work with fabric. So tell me how you ended up in Fairfield. As I said, it's so pretty here.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous neighborhood. And my husband and I, when we decided to move over here from Vancouver, this area just really reminded us of the area we lived, Main Street.
So what is it about Main Street?
We just loved the cool culture of the street itself. Lots of neat restaurants, lots of cool stores, a little bit artsy, and that appealed to us.
So do you find, Cook Street Village is it's kind of known as a community. It's a center of this area. Do you go there on Saturday mornings?
Yes, we definitely do a lot of our shopping in this neighborhood, go for coffee, just go for walks. Yeah, it's a great little neighborhood for doing that. We love being a part of this community.
Do you go to Prima Strata for pizza?
Yes, we do. Not that often, but we do, yes.
And what about the interior design store surroundings?
Yes, there's some cool secondhand stores that I love always going into. Can't help myself. And so there's two down at the bottom of Cook Street that I love. The names escape me, but yes.
So how long have you been in Victoria?
10 years now.
So what made the transition? Was it job, or was it because you just wanted a different lifestyle?
Different lifestyle and away from the big city, really.
Some people might ask, is it too quiet?
Not for what we were wanting. It would have been when I was in my 20s, but not at this age.
So you live on a very pretty street, and it has a lot. I actually have a client who just bought down here, who lives down here. It has a lot of sort of broken up homes, so we call them stratas. Yeah. So is this a single family home with a suite?
No, this would be 3 suites. So yeah. So it's we really liked that we were on the top floor. So once we saw this unit, we were like, yeah, this is where we want to live. And it was very adamant that I also wanted a deck, which we've got a beautiful deck here too. So
how long have you been in this rental?
10 years since we came. It's the only place we've lived here so far.
Well, they've got a skookum spot here. Okay, so best things to do in Fairfield West?
Well, love the walks down to the water, which is only 6 blocks away. So I love doing that, or runs. So love getting close to the water and exercising or walking, enjoying that. Beacon Hill Park is another walk. Love also just going downtown, checking out some other restaurants or just stores and whatnot. That's only we didn't realize how close it was. It's only like a 10-minute walk, 15 on that. So we are all about living in a place that we can walk to get our groceries, can go to the, drugstore, have all our conveniences. And that's what's definitely here for us. And so that's why we chose this neighborhood. And also my best friend had moved over here previous to me, so I wanted to still be walking distance to her place too. So it all worked out.
I used to live in Forest Hill Village in Toronto, which is exactly the same as Cook Street Village. So it has that nice feel where you're connecting to people and you're seeing them every day. A lot of people talk about the community feeling. Do you ever go to the Maw Street Market?
Oh, yes. One of my favorite things to do. I go there quite often. They have so many great vendors there or whatnot. And one of my favorite things to get is they're like a salad roll thing from a gentleman that has his business from Salt Spring, and he's been there for years now.
What about fresh fruits, vegetables?
Yeah. We really enjoy eating fresh, real food or whatnot. So we do buy a lot of our vegetables there, or in our local grocery stores too.
And then in terms of entertainment in the area, so you're right close to the Royal Theatre.
Well, there's a cute pub down the street that we go to. Often even just downtown, I guess we like to go to pubs, but we go to one of my favorites is the Irish Times pub. I have a little bit of Irish background in me, so it appeals to me, but it's been actually one of my sort of places that I can recall when I was younger that that's the feel of Victoria, the Irish Times pub to me. So it has sort of a good place in our heart.
It's right on the corner there too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you know you can go dancing in the Barden Banker at night?
I didn't know that because that's why I was going to the Irish Times pub. Now I have to check out the Barden Banker more.
I went there kind of by mistake, and we ended up, having a good time, and it was fun, and it was kind of like our age group. So I'm not going to tell you how old we are.
One of the other things I really like too is being very close to the Victoria Art Gallery.
And also there's the museum.
Yes, yeah. The museum too is absolutely beautiful. Something you have to go see if you've never been here. Walk through the museum.
So if you were going to be a tourist in Victoria, what would you want to do? If you had like a weekend away in downtown Victoria, Fairfield area?
Well, I would definitely check out Cook Street Village because there's just some cool stores and just a neat neighborhood to hang out in. But driving down Dallas Road, Ogden Point is another close spot. James Bay is another area that I just love kind of walking around. We do even more shop. We do shop over there too. Definitely the Empress is the hotel you have to see, and the waterfront down there. Parliament Building's beautiful on at night with the lights. And just that whole harbor is a really beautiful spot. And then, you're here on the island, you can just sort of travel around the neighborhoods because it's so close to all interesting neighborhoods.
What about for shopping? So you mentioned you like to go to secondhand stores. What about clothing or, for people who want something unique in Victoria?
It's been interesting since I've been here. There are a lot of other stores that have been opening up, like designed here locally, which I really do like. Funky store down on Cook Street that I love. The names escape me, but so there's lots of interesting choices. You do have to look around, but once you hear of them, and then go check them out.
So one of the things that Victoria is sort of becoming known for now is it's focused on becoming more bike friendly. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about that bike system?
I do know about it. I am a cyclist myself. I've used some of the new lanes, but I really like riding around, honestly, in the neighborhoods down other streets. But we do a lot of our riding along Dallas Road by the water.
Yeah, and one of the things that's unique about Victoria is you can ride your bike all year, except for maybe 2 or 3 days when we have snow. But and so what I found, I actually didn't own a car till I was 29 because I biked all over Toronto. What about you?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get my first car. I was a little later than that at 34, and I cycled all the time in Vancouver.
And it's kind of one of those things that gives you, unbeknownst to you, gives you a lot of fitness too, don't you find?
Oh, yeah. And that was another thing that really appealed to us to the island. Everybody's so active at every age. And that's how we want to live our life. So that's what really appealed to us.
So when are you coming out rowing?
Well, I don't know. I do love water sports. So that has a little, I've dragon boated. We kayak. We love doing that around. So I could be easily twisted. My arm,
You're twisted anyway, sister.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of paddle boarders.
Yeah, that's so interesting you bring that up. We were just discussing this on the weekend. I don't know if that's our thing. We like to be sitting and enjoying, and so when you want to take a break, you can. Not be standing on your board and yeah. But it'd be a cool thing to try. I'm not saying I wouldn't try it at least once.
We were rowing the other night along the gorge, and there were a whole bunch of people along a park called Curtis Point. Have you been there?
I think I have.
It's a big rock, and it faces west. I'm pretty sure it faces west, northwest. Anyway, at the end of the day, all the sun hits it. So all these people are swimming in the gorge. Have you been there?
I haven't swam in the gorge yet, but I have a very good friend that does it all the time, and that must be the area that she talks about. I just didn't realize the name of the rock or whatnot. So, yeah, that's I'd be interested to try it. I never really thought you could swim in the gorge. So,
I think it used to be very dirty, but now we see, like today, I saw 4 little otters playing in the water, and I see seals and birds and stuff.
Yeah, very cool. I love the wildlife here too.
So what about the kiteboarding? Do you ever watch that?
I've watched it. It's not something I would try, I don't think, but it's very cool to watch people doing it. Yeah.
So what they do is they go off. It can be windy here, and with the waves and stuff, they go onto a surfboard and then kite across the water, which takes a lot of strength. So one of our mutual friends, April, does that, and she is rocking. Like, you should see how strong her legs are now. It is cool.
I know it's definitely very cool to watch. I'm not surfing, and that I don't know. I've always thought I'd love to try, but I just don't know.
What about, you may not know this, but what about pets in Victoria? Do you find a lot of people have pets?
Yes, definitely. Dogs for sure. A lot of dogs here. I don't know if it's just here or it's just everywhere now. More people have pets or dogs. We usually have a cat, but our cat passed away a couple of years ago, so we are soon going to be having a new little kitten here. We're excited about that.
And I find, so one of the things for buying here, I've been working with a lot of clients who are looking for dog-friendly condos, is you can only have one dog or one cat in a condo here. So you're much better off buying a house. But that being said, there's lots of off-leash parks in the area. Okay, so getting back to the shopping aspect, favorite clothing shop in Victoria?
Well, the one actually on Cook Street, but the names escape me.
Mercedes Lane.
Yes, that's it. That is one of my faves.
Yeah, so they sell Frank Lyman, Joseph Ribkoff, and they also have Papillon and some other alternative stuff.
Yeah, and just very interesting, unique pieces that you don't really find elsewhere, and the kind of style that I like. So
very artistic. She was a client of mine.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
She owned that little dollhouse at the corner of Quadra and Fairfield.
Oh, nice. Wow. Yeah.
She's moved up island now. Anyway, okay. So, any final tips about living in Fairfield? Would you, if you had a chance, would you move back here, or would you choose another area?
No, I still love this area. And hopefully at some point we'll be buying, and this would be our area of choice for sure. And I think it's all just the convenience of what's local to us here and the community. We've got great neighbors. So yeah.
Safe?
Very safe. Very safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Just so close to Victoria, safe, walkable, friendly, and lots of community activity. So if you're interested in knowing more about the Fairfield area, contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Bar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. If you want to be a guest on the show, you're welcome to. You can find us at vancouverislandtime.com. We're also on Facebook at Vancouver Island Time, and we're on TuneIn, iTunes, and Stitchers. So stay tuned, and we'll be back to talk to Daria about her business.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun, and I'm here with Daria Bunting. She's a Fairfield resident, and she's going to be talking to us about her business, IDare-YaDesigns. So I've known you, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. And have you always been in design?
I've been in interior design for about over 12 years now. So it was a career that I kind of chose later in my trying to figure out what am I going to be when I grow up. It never really came to me, and once I finally made a decision with very help of a few friends, saying that I'm always the one that's helping them with their wall colors, fixing up their home, so why aren't you in interior design? I'm like, oh, there we go. So that's basically when I decided I think this is something I want to do. I really wanted to be doing something that I'm passionate about, and design is definitely where my heart is. I've always been kind of more in the artsy area field. Worked actually at the Vancouver Art Gallery for many years, and yeah, just love being around people that are in the arts. So it's a natural fit.
So are you trained in it?
Yes, I took schooling or went to school at BCIT in Vancouver.
And so obviously people go to design school, but where do they end up? What other fields do they end up in?
Oh, you can be in sales, which I actually went more that route at the beginning. And I always had a dream since I was younger that I would have a business someday. I just didn't know what that was going to be until once I got into this program. I realized finally when I'm in school, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love it. And this is what people talk about when they find their thing. So, yeah.
It's funny because as a teacher, I was given a lot of crap for going into real estate because everyone's like, well, you have all these, I have 7 years of education, and then I go and toss it aside. But I don't think I think you're the sum of all your experiences, don't you? And also being an entrepreneur is an honorable thing.
I agree. I'm glad at the path I took to get to where I am, because I learned a lot of great skills from all my more of a customer-based work that I did in my 20s and then in my 30s, getting into sales, realizing I just like to be with people and getting to know people. And that was something that comes very easily to me.
So what do you do exactly?
So I specialize in residential design, interior design. So I really believe that your home is a place that you should be surrounded by the things that you love. And that makes, your home is about comfort, and it's your safe place. And it should be, surrounded by things that you love. So I really help my clients find what their style is and make sure they're using colors that they love, or finding pieces that just speak to them. It's all about who you are.
So for me, I'm one of those people who my husband can imagine a space and what it's going to look like. I'm one of those people who I respond to what's in the space, and then I go, no, or yes. Do you find, how do you approach that?
Yeah, and this is interesting because growing up, I just thought everyone saw the world like I do. So it just is, for me, design and seeing a space, I can just, look at a room and kind of know what to do pretty quick. Or, sourcing products for clients, that just comes easily to me if I know what I'm focused on. So I just thought that's what we all could do. But I realize, so when I work with clients that just have it's not their thing. They can't sort of figure out the space and what they're trying to do with that space. So I love sort of helping them, and then see that, wow, this is going to be amazing. And now they're not so stressed about trying to do their reno, or even just fixing up a room, like repositioning furniture and such.
So I find in real estate that it's often the case during staging that a seller goes, oh, I wish I'd known that before.
Yes, that happens all the time. I've had many clients go, wow, where were you when I first moved in here? And I'm like, well, where are you moving to? I can help you on the next spot. So,
What do you find are the biggest mistakes?
for you meaning like for staging the home or or all in general? I think really less is better. Yeah.
I was in a beautiful little condo the other day, and I'm like in the master bedroom, and I'm looking around. I'm like, there is way too much furniture in this place.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that a lot of people do. They're attached to their possessions, and they just, no matter where they live, bigger or smaller, they're trying to keep it all. And really, less is better. And especially when you're trying to sell your place, you want to show the actual place, the condo or the house, not your furnishings and all your stuff.
What I tell people is you're also creating vignettes for each room, right? How you're going to live in that space.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, brown was the color. Now we're into grays and blues.
Yes.
Where do you see the trend moving?
Well, I think grays and blues are still going to be around for, I think, some time, but it's all shifting into different lightnesses of those colors. I'm also, yes, there's trends that are out there. You don't necessarily have to follow all the trends. I think it's your home. It's about the colors that make you happy. That's what I'm about.
So previously to people used to have a different color for every room to define the space. I went into a neighbor's house the other day, and she was telling me, oh yeah, well, I'm going to pick the color. And I'm like, well, that's something I remember from my childhood. But now people are tending to go for one color throughout the house. Do you find that?
Yeah, I think it's all about, yes, you can have a few colors, but it's all about making it all kind of flow and make sense. And another big thing that we're doing a lot of is wallpaper. Wallpaper's come a long way from the 70s. And it's just another added way to make one wall or, an accent wall different or special.
Actually, and I saw at Raphael and Brown, they have window coverings, which are kind of like wallpaper now.
Yes, you can get your window coverings. Don't have to just be a solid. There's lots of really cool patterns and textures, and that's what you want to layer your home with, different textures to make it feel warm and cozy, or what makes you happy.
So you also do fabric design, right?
Yes, I'm in the process of designing my own fabric and my own line home decor items. I come from a sewing background since I was little. My grandmother taught me, and so it's just something that I love creating things. So I'm excited about my fabric design because as a designer, there's times when I've got something in my mind of what I'm trying to find for my client, and it might be working with certain colors that are just not necessarily that easy to find. You can be searching for a long time, and so now I'm gonna create something that I can change up and help other designers too.
So how do you get people to determine not what their motivation is, but what inspires them?
I always start with, if we're working in a certain room, is there a certain piece that you already have in this room that you love? It could be a painting. It could be as simple as a cushion. And then I can work from that, really anything. Years and years ago, I was so inspired actually by a friend's mother who built her home based on these coasters that she had found. I was like, wow, that is so cool.
So are you a sucker for shopping for stuff, or do you own your stuff, or does your stuff own you?
Oh, interesting question. I love shopping. I do, but I'm also, you only have so much space. And so that's maybe why I love being a designer too. I can shop for other people and make their spaces because I only have so much room here. But yeah.
Okay, so average cost, you may not be able to answer this, for redesigning a room, like a living room.
Yeah, that could range. That's hard to say because you could be using sofas that, you could buy a sofa that's going to cost you $10,000, or you could buy a great sofa that costs you $1,400. So it's really all based on your budget. So I can really help clients. It's all about what your budget is, and we can definitely redecorate a room based on that, for sure. There's ways of doing it.
Okay. And where do you work primarily?
I would say I really work all over Greater Victoria, I guess you would call it, or I will go out to Sydney, I go to Souk, I will even go up island. I guess part of that is, growing up in Vancouver all my life, I was going all over the Lower Mainland. So to come here, going up island doesn't mean it's not that far, and that's the beauty of being here.
And what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I have a great way to look is my website, www.IDare-YaDesigns. So it's IDare-YaDesigns.ca. My phone number, main number is 250-858-0679. And you can always find me on my social media links that you can see from my website.
Okay, so if they're looking, are they going to be inspired by what they're seeing on your Instagram, and how?
Yes. So my Instagram, I just fully use to show images that inspire me, my projects that I've done, things things that I see. There's beauty all around us, which is what has inspired me to design my fabric.
Okay, so if you're interested in getting your home redesigned, even a room or a space, you can contact Daria Bunting. And number again
is 250-858-0679.
Okay, so stay tuned. If you want to be a guest, go to our website, click on Be a Guest at the bottom of the page. Our website is VancouverIslandTime.com. You can also find us if you want to see other shows on our Facebook page at Vancouver Island Time. We're also on Stitcher, iTunes, and TuneIn, and Spreaker. So stay tuned, and welcome to the neighborhood of Fairfield. Take care. Have a great week.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.